essentially the work limits expanded in a wider area, impacted in order to lose all of that extra spoil and grade it back into the hillsides rather than adjacent to the waterway. Again, we were planning to grade adjacent to the waterway and just have it all grade to drain back into the waterway. I can provide a little better visual for this at our next meeting. But the landowners what they're requesting is above and beyond what our plans have shown. Ultimately, we talked about this previously. We intended for the spoil to be wasted outside the waterway, but not spread as wide as the landowners would like. Typically, the feedback we get from landowners is they want us to minimize the impact of the project and the disturbance of their property. This is obviously a little different than that. This is what they're requesting, to return the site to an acceptable condition. I believe the additional work that we discussed on site is this is a wider topsoil strip area now to open that up and lose all that, to grade it. And that's what would be considered would be an increase in the quantity for the topsoil bid item that would be at a future board meeting for consideration for a change order to address what the landowner's request is on site. So I know there's been some kind of frustration all around with the waterway, spoil leveling and all that. And so I believe after our discussion on site, we all kind of came away with a path forward to address this and resolve the issue. And that would include kind of those items as well. We discussed, and I'll let Jared speak here in a minute if he'd like, but we discussed, that obviously with all the rain we've got, the site is not fit right now. But once it is fit, that they would get back on site to complete some of the items we indicated as high priority on the punch list that need to be addressed. And that, would obviously have to be once the site is back in good condition. So I guess with that was kind of just my really quick high level update. I don't know that I have any action items for the board today. And just wanted to kind of update you on where things are at. And obviously, Tara's on here as well, so I'm not sure, Jared, if you had something you wanted to add or discuss with the board as well. I'll give you kind of an opportunity here if you'd like.
Nothing, you kind of hit it all for the most part. Like you said, I stopped onto the site yesterday, and it's not as bad as when we met out there. I guess the water is going under the road and whatnot, so it is draining and getting closer to us. Like you said, addressing some of those action items. With that, I know there's some spots that aren't draining properly. That would be one of the first things, make sure we get temporary drainage through everything. Some of the waterway reshaping might be kind of tough depending on how well it dries up. I know there's some high spots, holding some water back, and some low spots. The plan would be get those big pain points addressed as soon as we can, and the site is fit. With the rain that's running through there, some of the pipe and the other stuff has kind of been washed around and strung out. We get that all cleaned up and moved, so until we get back there, it doesn't look like a bomb went off. So.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Spencer, how many dollars are we talking?
Sorry, Jared, go ahead.
How many dollars are we talking on the change order? What are you talking, dollar amount?
We'll need to get something official for you, Jared. One of the things Jared and I need to do is go through and determine, how we're going to lose some of that spoil and determine what the area is for topsoil strips. So we'll have a final number for you in the change order. And there's kind of two items in there. One of them is the alignment change on the Rashi property, which really the additional cost there would be the clearing and grubbing item. And then for the waterway, I would need to talk with Jared to get kind of make sure we're good on a topsoil number. To give you a range, I'm thinking it's something, I'm expecting it to be in the range of, somewhere around a few thousand, I would think, for the extra topsoil area. And originally we were at somewhere around 1,000 and 2,000. I know there's been a lot of frustration with this. The board had asked last time, we had to do obviously some extra work to try and address this in terms of the waterway. We've put together a waterway grading plan and all that. We're willing to essentially not bill that time, to the district if that helps bring us to a resolution. Ultimately, we all, I think, want the same thing, just for it to be addressed and for it to be brought to a resolution that the landowners are happy with, so.
Okay.
Anything else?
But I guess just big picture, at the next meeting, we will have something a little more official for the board to consider for this, and planning to, I'll provide a little more documentation too for some of this stuff, so it's a little clearer. And then I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it. I'm leaving for a trip the next day, but if not, I can see if Kyle can make it there. I think your next meeting is July 9th, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, yep. So I guess beyond that, we'll keep an eye on the site, keep in contact with Jared once things sort of shape up a little bit here, and we'll be on your agenda for the next meeting with that change order. So
That was going to be my only question, I guess, is under the most optimistic conditions, would there be a need or interest in a meeting prior to the 9th?
Yeah, I guess I would be, I think Jared and I could get something together this week. So if the board was willing and able, I would not be opposed to that, having a meeting prior to the 9th.
And I do think that's awfully optimistic, but just, I guess if they're prepared,
Yep.
and it looks like scheduling could allow it, I think it'd be wise for us to be available to call that. So that was just my only question. I think the 9th is
No,
fine
yeah,
unless
I
things
agree.
look quite favorable.
Yep.
I don't have anything.
I don't have any action items or anything for the board today. This was more just kind of an update, FYI. So I guess if there aren't any other questions, I don't have anything else, but just kind of wanted to share that.
All right, well, if that's it. Thank you, Spencer.
And then I did wanted to mention one thing to the board that was not JAD3 related, so I don't know if you want me to mention it now or wait till you close out or whatever you guys want, I guess.
What do you got?
Just a couple updates. I know I talked about this last time I was there, but DD9 and DD43, the previous improvement project we did, Rocky Marco was reaching out. There were some landowners that were questioning if some tiles were hooked up. We did provide Rocky with all that documentation, so I think that was addressed as far as I know, but just wanted to update the board on that. Then the other thing was just with some of the drainage ditches in the county. I know water hasn't probably receded yet, but keeping an eye on if there's any major damages anywhere that need to be documented, if there's a disaster declaration, FEMA or anything. I am in the area today. I'm in Spirit Lake. I'm actually planning to swing by DD 64 and 65 and just see if there's anything obvious there. That was one that we had just cleaned out. So in the past, we have these huge storm events like this. If the ditch washes out really badly, we want to document the damage to that because then there's the opportunity to get disaster funding to pay for any of the repairs. So just wanted to kind of put that out there. I plan to swing by DD 64, 65 on my own time today just to take a look at it and see if anything stands out. So.
All right, well, thank you much.
Yep, thanks everyone.
See ya.
And with that, I think
Yep, bye.
Got it.
all those in favor?
Right.
All those opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.
I have you sign the minutes from today's drainage, and that's it.
That one wasn't in there.
So you didn't approve it yet till after the drainage was done.
Preempted.
Well, look, if I did it, then it would work.